Hi everyone, this is Crystal and I'm back with another 12 by 12 layout using the scrapbook.com cut files. This is the December cut file. I have cut it out of some 6 by 8 paper. So if you watched my video from yesterday, I just continued working on the same day that I had done that page, and I had everything out on my desk. So I had this Jen Hadfield collection from Pebbles. This is the This is Family collection. So I cut the large title from that December cut file out of a 6 by 8 paper. This is the one with the stripes, so you can see. And then I'm going to back it with some white. But before I do that, I decided to create some dimension. So I'm going to grab some foam adhesive. This is just fun foam that you can get from any big box store. It's adhesive on one side. So I'm just going to cut tiny little strips out of this paper or this foam to back my cut file before I add the white backing behind it. And that's going to lift the cut file up off of the background and create a little bit of dimension and shadowing. It's super easy to do with this fun foam just because it's really flexible, it's really thin, it's time consuming, but it's not hard at all. So I'm not going to make you watch this entire process, but I'm just going to show you a few little bits how I added the foam. So once I have all the foam added, I'm just going to use my tape runner. This is just my scrapbook.com tape runner, and add some adhesive on top of the foam since it only comes with adhesive on one side. So I needed to add something to glue it down, and this seemed like the easiest way to get it done. So I added all the adhesive, and then I can just stick it down on this background. So the background I actually cut with the same cut file, the same scrapbook.com cut file, just by doing an internal offset and removing all those internal pieces. So super easy to do. Now I'm just going to replace all those little interior bits. So I kept the offcut of all these letters, and that lets me place that down and get those little interior pieces perfectly placed on my cut file. So I've already added foam to those as well. I'm just adding those down to the page, and then I can move on to the whole page to get things finished up. So I really like how this turned out. I really love that stripe paper. I think it's beautiful. This is going to be a birthday spread. So I have a selfie that I took last year on my birthday. My birthday is in December. I had not scrapbooked it yet because I wasn't really a fan of it. It's not a great photo, but it's the only one I have of me on my birthday from last year. So yeah, I'm just gonna use it anyway because yeah, it doesn't matter if it's perfect, right? I'm never gonna like a picture of myself that much. So yeah, getting it scrapbooked. So you can see I was just flipping through some of the supplies. Like I said, these are everything I already had out from that last page that I created. So it's all just handy, and I'm just gonna use it because it's there. So these are those same gold puffy alphas. I think these are from It's All Good, from Dear Lizzie, but they work really well with this collection. I like the combination of fonts, the very blocky font of the cut file with this kind of wonky, thinner font. So I like that combination, so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just adding happy birthday. So it'll say happy December birthday. That's going to be my title. I also pulled off the numbers 40, the numbers 4 and 0 to make 40 because it was my 40th birthday last year. So now I'm just playing around with embellishments. So I have the 6 by 12 sticker sheet. These are cardstock stickers. I'm just pulling off any that I think work with this birthday theme. There are quite a few elements in this collection that work for a birthday layout. So I don't end up using them all, actually. I end up just using a few of them. And then I'm going to do the same thing with these clear stickers. This is the little clear sticker pack. Again, lots and lots of elements that work for birthdays, so definitely not using them all. I really like these banners, and there was one on the cardstock sticker sheet as well as one on the clear sticker, so I'm going to end up using them both. I like the combination. The different types of stickers add some texture, especially because I don't have any of the die cuts or the any kind of chipboard from this collection, so adding multiple types of stickers just makes it look a little bit more interesting, less like I just took one sticker sheet and plopped it all down on the page. So I'm ready to stick down my die cut now, or my cut file. I'm just adding or I'm just grabbing my T-square ruler to make sure that I get it straight. I'm not normally a huge stickler for it, but I knew that if it didn't sit straight on the page, it was going to be very obvious, and then the other letters wouldn't be straight, and the whole thing would just look off kilter. So best to just get that lined up, which is easy to do with a T-square ruler. And then I can line up the rest of my title as well. So I got birthday down on the page, and now I'm just going to stick happy kind of up at the top by the top of the cut file. And because it has descenders, it has 2 P's and a Y, I ended up having to scoot that up a little bit. So you can see it kind of looks wonky right now, but I'll end up scooting the H and the A up so that it looks like it's sitting straight on the page. Okay, so now I can get back to my photo and start matting it. So I had that little scrap of paper in that peachy pink color, but there are 2 pinks in this collection. So I actually ended up grabbing the other one from this 6x8 pad. This is a brighter pink with some gold foiling on it, and I'm going to use that as a matte behind my photo along with those other 2 pieces of paper from the 6x8 paper pad. So there's that dark floral, and then a kind of gold foiled floral as well. So I definitely wanted to add some of the metallic elements from this collection. Because I've added some gold thickers, I wanted to tie them in a bit more, so that's why I chose the ones with the foiling. And I had planned to use that paper that you can see sitting just behind my layout to mat the whole page, which is why I chose that dark paper behind my photo as a matte to kind of bring in that dark paper. There you can see it a bit more. But I ended up changing my mind, so I ended up not using that as the matte. Well, I actually do. I just used the other side of it. So I didn't really need to add that darker paper behind my photo, but I like the way it looks anyway, so it still works just fine. So I can go ahead and adhere my photo down. I thought for a minute about popping it up on some foam adhesive, but I ended up just adding it flat to the page. That way I can pop up some of the embellishments around it and have some different dimension there. Okay, so just kind of pulling off everything that I had stuck down and moving it around, finding out where I really like it, where it works best. So I like those banners up at the top. I had tried them in a few other places, but I really like them just above my photo like they are now. So I'm going to end up adding some more embellishments between the happy and the banners, just so that there's not that trapped white space there. But for right now, I'm popping up that cake sticker on some foam, like I said, just to add some dimension around my photo and to give these very flat elements some interest. And then I can stick the 40 right by the cake. I'm going to kind of tuck it in there so it's not floating on its own, and then add that little clear balloon sticker as well, and a little noisemaker sticker from the sticker sheet. So just adding all the little birthday elements that I can fit that work in these 3 clusters. So there's really the cluster at the top of my title, the one by the corner of my photo, and then the one at the bottom of the word birthday. So that's kind of the visual triangle that I'm working with, and just trying to figure out what's going to fit. So I know that I want to add a little bit of journaling in that space between the title and the cake by my photo. There's just a little kind of corner there that will be perfect for adding a little bit of journaling. So I'm trying to leave space in that area for the journaling, so I don't want to fill that up completely, but I also want it to not look too empty. So here is where I decided to flip that paper over and use the B side of that paper to mat my whole layout. So I just need to trim off a little bit from my white background so that you can see the border around it. So it wasn't perfectly centered, so I ended up trimming off just a little bit more on one side than the other, which is a great little trick if you are creating a layout and things end up being a little off center. That's one way to correct that. So you can see I trimmed off a little bit of this paper because I want to use the branding strip as part of the background. So to keep it 12 by 12, I had to trim off just a little strip of the other end of this paper. And then I'm also gutting it because it's just too pretty not to use. So it's the only sheet of it I have. I think I definitely want to use that other side on another page. So I just trimmed out the middle of it, and there you can see there's the branding strip at the bottom. I really liked that darker pink at the bottom. It tied in the paper that I used behind my photo, and it just helped ground the whole thing. It made it a little bit heavier at the bottom, so it didn't feel like it was all just kind of floating on white. So that's another trick you can use to get those branding strips used. Just trim off the other end of the paper and use it as a background. So I'm ready to add my journaling, and that's pretty much going to be it for this spread. It came together super quickly. The longest part of it was getting that cut file backed in foam. But once I had that done, it was super simple to just pull all the elements in and get them glued down. So there it is. I think I do add just a few more embellishments to finish it off. I don't usually over embellish things, but this was looking just a little bit bland to me, a little bit empty. So I'm going to grab a few more things and stick those down on the page. And then that's going to be it. So there are lots of close-up photos coming up so you can see all the little details. And all of the products that I've used are also linked down below, including the scrapbook.com cut file. So I've used it now on 2 spreads, very different pages, and I have plans to use it again in the future for another project, so be sure to look out for that. And I also have another video coming up using one of the other cut files, which are also linked down below. Scrapbook.com has released some cut files recently that are really spectacular, so be sure to go check those out if you haven't done so already. Okay, so thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video and found some inspiration, and I will see you all back here very soon.